you guys, it is late. Let me show you what we did today, accomplished last week. I know y'all haven't seen a whole lot of updates. Last week I was away on a planned vacation. Nothing like taking a vacation before you kick it into high gear, try to get this thing ready. It was a good vacation, good family time, and now it's time to get back to work. So let's roll through what we did. All right, we are working late in the shop. We are waiting on this shock over here to come in. AutoZone, well, I won't say AutoZone, it was not AutoZone's fault. Nobody had the shock in stock, so I ordered it through AutoZone online because their shipping's usually pretty good and they're usually quick about getting out. First package got lost in the mail. Second package only had one shock in it. They're supposed to overnight it to me, and I think it's actually down by my mailbox. I've got to go see, but we were wanting to get in this rear diff and just make sure it's going to be okay to probably service and at least use for now. I would love to go to an 8-inch instead of single tire fire 8, or yeah, single tire fire 8. But right now it's just not in the cards. So we are going to pop this cover and see what the nastiness looks like. If we can get this cover loose. All right, so we popped it loose. I give it a little hammer persuasion. This fluid doesn't look bad considering it's been sitting for 30 years. Just my initial reaction. Excuse the bass. I guess guy down the road just decides to roll through. So this fluid looks actually pretty good. Let's get this cover off and look inside and see what she looks like. All right, well, she's almost done dripping. As you can see, no major wear patterns or anything funky looking, just from sitting really. There's a high side that's got a little rust just where it hasn't moved, but everything appears to turn pretty good. There's a little slack, but all the wear patterns ideally look all right. So we are gonna clean this up. Probably throw some fluid in it. I don't see any leaks. It had a ton of fluid in it. I don't see any leaks on either axle seal end. That would lead me to believe that I need to do the axle seals before we go. Of course, that'll be famous last words, but we're gonna clean this up, seal it all up, and put some new fluid in. I have some new brake parts on the way. Yep, so I'm kind of making this thing look decent for the 8, because eventually I'll probably either swap it to the 9 or put a chunk in it. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. These gears are staring at me like I should probably weld them up, but I'm not going to do that. Just not going to do that. So for the time being, this is what we're going to work with, and yeah, doesn't look bad, which is good. That's what I needed to see, because that was going to be a huge stress coming down to the wire if the rear end was no good. So all right, so ignore the floor because obviously it's not painted, but the frame and rear end is painted. New shocks are in, new gasket is on, paint is pretty much drying. I'm gonna let it dry overnight. That's kind of why I'm at a stopping point. So I was gonna try to turn the drums out, but I got a little overzealous and I broke this end off right here. So it looks like we're gonna have to find new drums. It is what it is. I'm not mad about it. I don't see any seals leaking. Obviously, all these parts are getting replaced on the brakes. Those should be in later in the week, hopefully, if the mail doesn't lose anything again. I have the worst luck with mail, but we're gonna get all this stuff in here replaced. The only thing we're not gonna use is the, I'm gonna hook up the parking brake, but I don't have the cables were rotten in between, so I will have to source those later. I'm not hugely worried about that. So we'll get this all taken care of and then get this off. It is pretty stuck on there. I sprayed some lubricant in there. We'll try to get it off later. I'm not really concerned with that. It'll come off. Obviously, fuel tank under here is mounted. I gotta clean the floor up and paint it, prime it, all that. And then do the same going up here. The trans has got to come out still. So when I do that, I will clean up all this in here. That was the plan all along, but now I have to get it out anyway. And then we need to get some exhaust ran, at least enough to run the sniper. We are waiting on a few parts, obviously, for the brakes. I'm waiting on one more retainer nut for this spindle over here. It's got a little bit more play than I'd like it to have on that spindle, so I'm gonna add one more spindle nut washer, excuse me, over there just to make sure it's where I want it. And then we can mount up all the wheels and tires. Once all that is done, I need to finish running the brake lines up there. Nothing's gonna focus, of course. I need to finish running the brake lines up there and then obviously get the starter in. All my wiring for the Sniper to work is complete. Let me go this way so I'm not staring at that light for y'all. All the Sniper stuff is wired and complete, with the exception of the 12 volt to the switch, just because I have not climbed up under there yet. So very, very soon we will hopefully at least be ready to fire this thing. I've got a few more things to do. We're gonna finish fixing up in the floor, that area that I found. We gotta finish fixing this hole right here. That goes up in there. And then we're probably just gonna put a stop sign or something in this hole right here behind the seat for now, because we are running out of time. I'm gonna go for sealed over fixed. So that's pretty much all the updates I have. I didn't really get any work done getting back to work and everything last week. I got in tail end of Wednesday or Thursday and just been pedal to metal at work. So first night really getting to work on it for a few hours. So it's late. I gotta get some sleep because still got work tomorrow. Still got responsibilities like everybody else. So that's where I'll leave you guys. We'll try to get some more updates later in the week. All right, as you can see from sitting for 30 years, there's a lot of spiders for one, or spider nests, whatever, spider webs. But yeah, the springs up top are fine. Wheel cylinders look like they're leaking a little. It doesn't matter, we're replacing all this, we're rebuilding all this. The only thing, again, we will not have hooked up is the emergency brake cables, which come to here, and that is purely because they rotted in half right here where this floor is. So we'll get that figured out another day, but for now, I'm gonna get these brakes rebuilt. Obviously, this lower spring was rotten in half. This was seized up, which is probably why I couldn't get this other hub off without breaking it. Now, I could have turned these. Well, I haven't got that one off yet, but I broke it, so it doesn't matter. We had to get new ones. They should be here today. This is the other one, and it is plenty thick enough to turn. To get all this rust out from the other side, you can see where it was sitting on one side and not the other. You can see where basically it was stuck. So this one's stuck in the same area. Obviously this one is stuck on. We'll get it off, no big deal. Rear diff is done. Mine's putting fluid in, nice and shiny and cleaned up. Obviously the floor back there is not. I still have to put a coating on all that and get the rest of that cleaned up. Fuel lines are ran up here. The only thing we still got to do, fuel lines and vent is also up there as well. It's supposed to be higher than the tank, and the only thing we have to do is still run the line from there to the hole here we got to cut. I've got to finish the floor in the trunk, which is what we're going to try to do today. And then also we're going to try to get the torque converter issue solved maybe today as well. I've got a bunch of parts coming in. If they make it in the mail in time today, we're going to go ahead and get started on that. If not, we're going to focus on other things we need to get done. Obviously car's on a lift, and I'll show you this later, but I did make a list up there with marker of kind of a roadkill style, what needs to be done left. Sure, there's stuff I'm not thinking of, but that's the stuff that really needs to happen before this thing can go here in the next few weeks. So let's get to it. All right, this side is off, and it was stuck, very, very, very stuck, to the point most of the hardware was actually rusted into the rotors. This was actually bent down there at the bottom too, which is not a big deal. We have all the hardware to replace. I actually ended up having to cut into the drum to get enough leverage to get it loose and broke in. As you can see, it is just stuck on that top part. So got it off, no big deal. We're gonna get this side cleaned up and rebuilt, and this side right here, it was drying. It's repainted. We'll take the tape off and get to work on this side while the other side's getting cleaned up. So all right, so back to me doing things and not remembering stuff. So this piece right here keeps this from turning. And I realized the other night when I took this apart over here, yeah, I'm missing it. So it did not come with the hardware kit, as you can see down there. So we will have to get that piece to make this spring right here connect properly and also keep this from turning. But other than that, we are still waiting on the drums to come in the mail. So really not a huge worry, but definitely an oversight on my part. So we'll have to get that ordered and get that here as soon as possible. All right, this side is done, minus obviously the drums, which are supposed to be here today. I'm still not gonna put the drums on because I am missing this cable that goes from here all the way down to this for the return. That'll be ordered as well today. Should be in next week. With the with this piece that I'm missing on this side, well, this side right here, I did not know that was missing till today. I kind of forgot about it, so we'll also have that return cable right here. No big deal. So that's for now, keeping that together. Drums will be in today. For those of you telling me Rock Auto, some stuff Rock Auto is good, but the rear hose that I ordered through them is not even close to being correct. So I just ordered that as well. Hopefully it should be in next week. So small stuff is just keeping me from finishing large projects. As you can tell, the rear is pretty much done. Fluid's all in it. Brakes are done except for the drums and those small parts. Moving on to other stuff. And here is the pile of leftover brake parts that were toast. All right, so that is the worst part of the floor. That is officially now cut. The hole, we also unbolted the seat. So the seat should be able to come out now. So I'm gonna be able to get all that dirty nastiness and that carpet finally out. So that's one thing off the list. We're still waiting on the rear end stuff. We're gonna get that cleaned out up there so I don't have stuff falling on my head, and then we are gonna tackle the transmission issue and hopefully get that done today and sorted today and back in today. So a lot going on. We got some time trying to get this thing squared away on the big end. We still got a lot to do, but it's all small, tedious stuff. I'm gonna show y'all something pretty cool. So I kind of forgot about the glove box. It was filled with just rat crap, and unfortunately, there is a manual in there, but it's so embedded with all the rat crap and just nastiness that it's unsavable. I cleaned out this and the ashtray. The ashtray had a bunch of matches and old pop ball caps in it. I happened to look up in the roof right here. I don't know if you can see this yet, right there. And there was this card. Let's see if it'll focus. Yep, so that is the actually original owner card of the original owner, and looks like this thing came from California. That's pretty wild. So that definitely gives the lighter a little story of maybe it's the guy's lighter, this last name. So we may have to do some tracking and figure out if we can find them. Other stuff in the glove box that was hidden is a spark plug gap tool that I thought was pretty cool. It's an AC spark plug gauge. Not sure how old that is, but that's pretty cool. And I found a quarter and a dime. We're gonna see what those look like once they get cleaned up. And I'm guessing this light may be a map light for the glove box. Not sure. We're gonna hold on to it for right now because I don't know if that's repopped or not. But yeah, found the owner card. That's freaking sweet. All right, the front brakes are done minus the master cylinder. I've still got to get those lines done. That was on my list to do today, but I did not get to it. But the wheels are bolted on the front finally for the first time. I'm about to drop it on the ground so you can see them a little bit better. But they look pretty freaking good, I think. I won't be able to drop it all the way on the ground because the rear's not got anything on there for me to bolt up yet. I'll still wait on drums and the few parts I ordered today, but let's drop it on the ground and see what it looks like. That is about as low as I'm gonna go. It may go a little bit lower, obviously, but the rear suspension is touching over there, so we're not gonna go any lower. They look pretty good. I can't turn it straight, the wheel straight, because I have the suspension loose in the front to get the trans and the starter out. So I think they're gonna look pretty freaking sweet on there. Worst case, we'll trade for something else later. But for now, I think they look pretty good. So I've still got one shock to put in. I think that's one side's lower than the other. Forgot about that. So it's sitting over there in the box. I'm actually staring at it right now. So I think these wheels are gonna do it justice. Cooper Cobra's not a fan of. There's better tires out there, but yep, these are gonna be it for now. And it looks like we crossed a few things off. I realized y'all probably can't read any of this just because I wrote it in blue. I can read it, but obviously it's not picking up very great on video. But we crossed off a few things. Rear diff fluids in, coolant's in, carpet under the seat is, I guess I didn't show y'all that very well. Ignore that noise. Carpet is gone underneath the seat. The seat is loose. I found one bracket I've got to make because it's rusted out. But yep, so the seat's just kind of laying there right now. But carpet's out. We cleaned up in here. Found a few rust holes. We cut out over there, obviously. We're gonna make a patch for that. Just a quick, dirty screw-in patch probably. But yeah, I realize y'all probably can't read this, but remove carpet under driver's seat is done. We've still got a long way to go, but we're getting there. A lot of this is waiting on parts like brake lines. We've got a little bit to go on that, not much. Torque converter, I've got to get that done. That's getting to get done today. Exhaust, I have what I think is gonna work. Rear brakes should be done also as soon as parts come in. Rear floor patch, we got to finish that where the fuel cell is. I guess I haven't shown you all the fuel cell update very well, but we're wired in. All that's left to do is run the wires to the pass-through right there and then the inlet for there. But we need to take this back out and finish this floor piece right here in the corner that was rusted out, and then make a makeshift patch for that for now. That's all that's left to do in there. And then hook up a battery. I was starting to mess with these rear lights. Yeah, my door is disgusting. The rear lights, I didn't have, some of them were chopped up. I've got random wires back here. I don't know where they go. So we're going through that now, try to get that figured out. But we were able to get some stuff done on the list today, which is good. So hopefully more coming soon, and we'll cross more off this list and get it fired over.